You ever notice that the prophets in the Old Testament many times were put to death because they preached the truth? And then also the apostles, they were all, every single one of them, well, all but John, were put to death for their faith in Jesus Christ. John, he was just as bad. He was boiled in hot oil. And so you wonder, why was it so bad when these were men who spoke the truth for God, to tell the people what God expected of them and what God thinks of their behavior? Why were they persecuted? You'd think they'd be appreciated, that they can hear from God and know how to live. Well, the reason they were persecuted and the reason they were put to death is because, well, there were so many false prophets out there telling to people what they wanted to hear. It's like the New Testament, the Apostle Paul was talking about how in the last days, he was talking about how that people will be heaping to themselves teachers having itching ears and turning the people away from the truth, turning them to fables. And that's exactly where we are in America today. Is there's so many false teachers out there, and anybody that stands up and preaches the truth, well, they're in trouble. In the Old Testament, Jeremiah talked about how that God said that the prophets were preaching and saying God said, and God said, I hadn't said any of that, and that they would be punished for it. And I'm telling you, preachers, if you're out there and you ain't preaching according to the Word of God, you can expect to be punished for it. But all the rest of us, let's study our Bible ourselves and learn what does God have to say, and let's live by what He gives us to say. Thank God He speaks to us. Now let's live for Him.